Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helver. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Sentius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helver.
What?
It has been decided. Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time to put together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
You've returned. Nothing really. It won't be long. I dare say it won't affect me. Thank you.
Glad Galerius won.
Isn't the great temple majestic?
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Oh, thank you. You can have my shiny and maybe you can help me. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, but before that, he gave me a key to the cisterns. Please help me find it. Oh, thank you. Hope you find it. Oh, look, maybe it is treasure. I could see it for myself. So pretty. And it's just lying out here in the open. Maybe nobody wants it anymore. Maybe no one will mind if I just take it. Don't you dare.
I love seeing.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Now. All right.
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
We're fine. I is. Look now.
All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm. Magistrate's orders.
What? It's no use. You'll never... You're making... All weapons are to be tossed into the chasm.
Citizen.
Magistrate's orders.
Ah, you've... Me? You know... Al... Come. You see, my connection to the portal. But I'm surprised you hadn't known he was a moralistic. And because of that fatal, I watched him come through the portal each time. And when he finally saw the futility of it all, as you're about to, I mean, you've not looked, and yet everything, because there's no escape. So... Why? And why would... morality. Understand that to me, you might want to think that through. I certainly hope not. In fact, I want it to go on and on forever until you... We both know you're not that stupid, so go on, make your empty threats and stomp. But believe me when I tell you. Now, get out of my villa. I thought I told you to get out.
On your best behavior, I trust? What is it, sir? Or...
A new face. Oh. Oh my. Let's see. We don't have much to go. Hercules, the demigod. Hercules was able to leave the underworld. Sisyphus and Orpheus both. And finally. So it seems you have two options. It's a reasonable question. But the problem is, this place is fairly well. And even if you could build a ladder big enough, just trying... As I mentioned, both Orpheus and Sisyphus were... The problem is, those are the stories of a first Proserpina. It's said, the god of... It is. If the stories are true, I am... The problem is, how... Leaving that aside for a moment... Truly? Then again, can you tell me more? If she... Tell me, has she told you anything that might... Truly? Ah, I see. Then it seems, but unfortunately, I may for...
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Wonder how much one of these... Hello there. Well, I'll tell you... Oh well, let me know if you change... Mali... Certain. Very well.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Help!
Stop, right? Thank.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Sup? You...
Ah, a fellow traveler from a faraway land.
Wonder how much one of these statues... Hello there, friend. Very well. Whatever's in that great temple up there on the bluff, I bet it. Hello there. Well, now you talk. Oh, that... All right. Wait. I suppose you're right. Here's your... Now. What? I can't take that. You promised to tell... What is it? Don't even... Hello there, friend. Well... Oh, well, let me know. I'm afraid not. If some people... Oh, yeah, gotta watch out. Some... It's Oh, that's a little all right. Wait. Here's your now. I can't. You Wait. Don't even.
What? Quick, give it here. I'm just going to help her swallow this. I think she's going to be all right.
Don't even talk.
seem so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
What? My condition is nobody's business.
What now? I have a message from Malleolus.
Citizen. And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Njaab to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will. My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know? It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey. My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive. No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that. This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long. That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions. As you wish. It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago. That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting. There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina. As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten. To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Persephone along with it. It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer, and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth. Of course, that is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my duty. That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels. I give your kind a second chance in life, as well as ample warning about my lord. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I and merely the means by which you do it. When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. Consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies. I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not? Enough. You clearly know nothing. I'm able to commune with all the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes. If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask? Then what an odd question. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? I have seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others. Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. The literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language. Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule? And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others. Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority, this is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from? I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt? I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years. Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked? Ah, the tavern keeper. How is that inconsistent with the rule? I disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what she would expect from others. She would view it as a game, one she intends to win. Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation. Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man. Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Now tell me. The midwife and the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule? The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine. Now tell me, abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree? Supposing you're right, and my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want? Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue. Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon? How dare you threaten her? This ends now. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
As if you're trying to extend my lifespan.
I'll
On your best behavior, I trust? Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you?
Isn't the great temple majestic? Isn't the great temple majestic? I think she's going to be all right. Galerius, you're amazing. How did you know?
I was just doing what you guys told me. Salve, Ruffius. I hear your rheumatism has you so riled up you've been harassing Virgil.
What? My condition is nobody's business but mine.
There's no need for that. I just wanted to give you this willow bark to help you treat it.
Welcome.
Treatment? Really? Thank God. Finally, some relief after all this time. Thank you, Galerius. You're a good man. And I'll be sure to leave Virgil alone. I know I haven't been at my best lately.
Appreciate that. Now, I've got to run.
What now?
I have a message from Malleolus.
Yeah? Who's it from?
The Emperor. He knows Malleolus's real name is Quinctius, thanks to Claudia, and demands he withdraw from the election and release Ulpius and Iulia immediately.
Are you out of your mind, farm boy?
Domitius, that's enough.
What? You're not going to listen to this dolt, are you?
Galerius, all right, I'll withdraw, and Ulpius and Julia are free. I trust our business is concluded?
Yes, that ought to do it. I guess I'll go and tell Ulpius the good news then.
Isn't the great temple majestic? Isn't the great temple majestic? Welcome.
We're free. Malleolus just released us and we never have to set foot in that villa again.
What? How?
Galerius arranged it somehow.
Really? That's incredible. Oh, what a relief. I don't know what to say.
You don't need to say anything. Just rest up, get your strength back, and we'll celebrate properly when you're ready.
I will. Thank you, Ulpius. I will.
Don't believe a word they tell you.
Come and join me by the fire. Welcome, welcome. I was indeed, but we've never... Oh, that's a relief. I assume you're asking me this. Extraordinary. Then I suppose first I'd want to gather information. I'd want to know about his reasons for imposing the Golden Rule, and what he can... If I could expose some internal inconsistency in his reasoning, some degree... But as a philosopher, the saddest truth I ever learned is that all but the most enlightened opponents are more easily swayed by appeals to emotion than by reason. So the easiest path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it. As a last resort, I might figure out what he fears losing above all else, and if I could... Now, go quickly while my... Good to see...
How'd you do?
Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default.
Actually, I'd like to nominate myself, if that's all right.
Of course, Galerius. That's your right. Citizens, the election will proceed.
Salve again? Here's the... Anyway, so... Oh, now, oh.
A new You did? Wait, what? Sumerian? As in East... Our ancestors built over the Greeks' temple, but the Greeks had done much the same thing. If that's true, then I've spent my whole... It's no wonder I never felt like my prayers to Vest... I see. That is a lot to take in. Ave again. Oh, Huck. As I mentioned, the problem is, first, it's... if... True.
I hope you're coping.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. You will suffer eternal torment for this. And he allowed but the one. Good. Then now only it has long been within my power to when I peer into you, I see only a black Charon. Where did you find this one?
I do not remember ferrying you. How did you come here? If that is true, then
How did you come to be?
I cannot know.
I do not know. My kin departed long. Tread light. Enough of this. It's why have you come? If you anger me or waste my time with, so tell me.
He cannot know.
You have no idea. That is a very serious accusation, More. I am well aware of the story told by the Greek. It is entirely unfair. My love... It was an act of rebellion against the others. She knew I would have to act to save her, and I did accordingly. Every one of those people was guilty of... They failed collectively, and so they were punished. Ah, but I'm a god, and you are a mortal. Why would you expect me to treat you as I treat my... Let me ask you this. Do you treat insects as... Do you ensure they have food and shelter? Of course not, because that would... My love for her does not mean I am not superior, now that she is... Bah! For a moment I thought you might... That... Where to begin? In which time we accumulate vast wisdom. It would be most unwise to get because that is the source of... My kin have no superior... Make your point. Let me ponder that. If you're right, then it would follow that all this time I have been in the wrong. But no, the very thought of it grieves me. How can I accept your argument when doing so would make me a... Wait, what? You have spoken eloquently, and yet, if what you say... But that would mean Jupiter, Preservator's father, who knew more... A mistake? Your words, as difficult as this is to admit, I've been so fixated on taking my beloved to Elysium. In time, I began to despise your kind for making her believe that you... But my rage was not born of malice. Quite the opposite. Who knew this empathy of yours, which you celebrate? This has gone on too long. But know this. If I abandon the wager... Because doing so would violate the rules of my sacred agreement with Jupiter. The best I can do is I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you... Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to... What will become of you is difficult to predict. Now, farewell.
Oh. Hi there. Well, here I am. Know who... Oh, I'm fit for... Apparently, there was a community... They believed that if even one person sinned, Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ill, saving the life of a, preventing the suicide of a man, freeing a falsely, foiling in a, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to, and the doors just, nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long, and unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of, what became of him? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that... what? Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that... I'm gonna pause here for a moment and... You...
You're back! But... why don't you tell...
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions. You can just call me Carol. I do not that most people find that you die. My rule, as the most so ask as you made a purchase. You were the shop. You both there were he that you were. It means there is nobody else to ferry here. Nobody to keep you company. Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans bearing their dead. Well, along my... It means there is... I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al!
Kind of...
You two look exhausted.
Sounds...
And...
Hey, you made it. After everything you've been through. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some... I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying... Why don't you head on down there?
Oh, hello.
You're finally here. Remember me? It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life. Oh, I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna be around... Of course.
You're here. So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the... I'm just teasing. Actually, and it's... Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere. Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. We're just so thankful. See you...
There he is!
Hello, I'm Dooley. Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Hey.
Hi there, I'm Horatius. I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting said. I'm living up north and studying in the military academy. The world's changed a lot. But some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still? I have to keep challenging myself to let go of all. The ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but... Ah, you remembered that. In the words of Epictetus. Remind yourself, your precious one. Thanks. He's not my... he had more trouble adapting. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some supposed appeal to people's baser instincts. But his luck finally ran out. And his... You're not... And you...
I take it you're the Oracle. Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be... I'm not sure if you heard, but after she knew right away what none of us had figured out about that. But he's been dealt with. He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the eternal torment. Anything I want. I'm a woman of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just... You too.
You're... Oh, of course, sorry. And of course... Oh, I bet I'm living in a house share in London with... Eventually I want to travel the world and write about it. Tons. Did you know there are entire continents and you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft? Oh, sorry, you already know all that. I really... Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the... As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense... I couldn't agree. Ugh. Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich even in your timeline. Apparently he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, Nigeria? Really? Huh. You too. If you're ever... You're welcome.
You are here. It's... Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as when it ended, I realized I missed it. You too.
And here you are. Oh, and by the way, I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And it seems I have your... I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University. Not that I need the money, but... Aha! I have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous mod... Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia. My sincere...
Greetings. You must be the legendary oracle. I am told we have you to thank for... I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last... Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled, I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of... You too.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I'm just so happy to be here. Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. Thank you. You
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god, but thank you for coming, and I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life. Thank you. And you. Oh, and wonderful.
Good evening. Greetings. Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time... I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for... Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite... Men have called me mad. But the question is not yet... And you?
Some soiree, innit? Ah, hello at last. You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it was... Whatever you did in that temple made me a... Such a serving. I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the... In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go. Of course, don't...
It is an honor to finally... You... Oh, of course. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing... For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of a nut. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths, and I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me. Indeed. Thank you.
Hello there. Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me. Don't worry. No. I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. I'm so grateful to you for making... You can try some of... Thanks.
It's nice to finally put a face... I understand I have you... The way you just showed up out of the blue. I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We fight... Every day I look at her, and this... So we're living each day to the foot, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable, and I... Thank you. You too.
Nice to meet you. I go by Rufus now. New start. For what you did. Sorry, I'm... Huh. Good to know. Anyway, it was... I live with Virgil in Rotterdam. not far from where he grew up. It's very... haven't decided what... You too.
It's so nice to finally meet. I wanted to thank you personally and for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Ruf, of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming, you natives of the 21st. You too, as Rufus said, if you're ever in the Netherlands.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to...
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saying. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the sun. I wanted to meet you in person. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your Indeed. I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my... After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over 1,000, so I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life in depth. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him. And we were all fortunate you came along when you did. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time she wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised. And you. Although it feels like I've... Oh, and one last thing. Good. Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.